Good evening, campers, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. I'm Commander Exorcist, and welcome to another episode of my Let's Play exploration series, Exploration and Chill. Before we get started, if you enjoy the content I create on this channel, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me some interesting things you've done in Elite Dangerous in regards to exploration. Now, so we are going to spend the next little bit together. If you've never watched an episode of Exploration and Chill, typically what I do is I'll find a world and spend some time running around scanning flowers, making a lot of money, and just kind of showcasing different exploration elements of the game and just talking about things that interest me. So it's kind of an unscripted commentary show, so we'll just kind of sit back and you can relax and listen to me drone on about whatever it is that's on my mind at the moment. There is a lot of stuff going on in Elite Dangerous at the moment, a lot of things to talk about, and so we're going to fly in here. There are 7 biologic signals on this planet that we are going to touch down and do some investigation, scan, and make some money to help continue to bolster my bank account. Now, before we get started, as we're going along, I have been playing Elite Dangerous since very early in 2018, so around 3304. And since then, since the very first day, I have played Elite Dangerous with a controller. So I've used an Xbox controller both when I played on Xbox and when I switched to PC from Odyssey. But recently that has changed because this is the first video that I've ever created on this channel, created using a completely new setup, keyboard and joystick setup, a HOTAS. And I am using the Thrustmaster SOL-R1. I know some of you may have seen out there on YouTube and in the advertisements the R2, which is a combination dual joystick. I am using a single joystick paired with a keyboard, mainly because I don't have the desk space to be able to set up a dual joystick in my studio. So I am using a single joystick, which is something that I've used before in other flight simulators, but never with a game like Elite Dangerous. So I've had to teach myself over again how to actually play this game. So you may see some weirdness as we go along. I apologize in advance as I try to teach myself once again how to play this game. This planet is really something. Wow, it really this is a really interesting planet. So, but yeah, I did not get gifted this joystick, the SOL. I actually purchased it because I've been looking to potentially make the switch, and when I saw it, I really liked the design, so I wanted to give it a try. I've been playing with it since Friday afternoon. It arrived, and I've spent the weekend kind of setting it up and getting things together, working with the key bindings, which, oh my god, there's some weird key bindings for these joysticks, but definitely getting there. The biggest challenge for me with the setup was working with the camera suite, because I rely so much on the camera suite. I needed to make sure that everything was set up properly with that. What do we have here? Is that... Okay, so those are the tubes. That's cactoidal. Wow, there's a lot of this stuff here, but I don't think that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the fungus. I am looking for fungus among us. Some really nice mountains in this little valley. This is like the only place. So I scouted this planet before I started recording, mainly because I started recording and I got 5 minutes into the video and realized that my microphone wasn't recording. So I had to restart the approach, but fortunately I hadn't found the fungus yet, because this is the only region on the planet that apparently has fungoida growing, which is pretty fascinating, actually. They usually are not that difficult to find, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I hope this is not like an extended episode. I'll try to keep talking. I'll try to keep it interesting so that you guys don't get bored and shut it off. But the point of these videos a lot of times is really just for me to kind of play the game. I've been doing a lot of guides recently. I'll do a lot of cinematics, and sometimes it's just fun to kind of sit down and play the game. I also have a habit of dragging the undercarriage of my Mandalay across the surface. Part of that is the HOTAS setup. God, I'm loving the responsiveness now. Being able to fly down here. Although I can't really see down here in the valley. Come on, where is it at? Usually these things are everywhere. And there's 7 biologics, and I'm okay with leaving one of them if it's going to be really difficult to find them, because there's cactoida everywhere. Pretty much everything else I'm looking for is around. And the fungoida is not typically something... It should be the trees, if I understand it correctly. But typically it's not too difficult, and it doesn't really grow on the side of mountains. Here we go. Got it. Yeah, it is the trees. Landing gear down. Let's see if we can... I don't know if we're going to be able to... Because this is at a huge angle. Oh, man. See if there's any up here, because this is a huge angle, like right here on the side of this mountain, which I was just saying they don't grow on the side of the mountain. Apparently they do. Like I said, we won't spend too much time searching for this stuff. Let's go ahead and go back over here. This down. Let's get on the other side of the hill here, because we're already about 8 minutes in, and I don't want to spend my time searching for something that is pretty much inconsequential. So, a nice view there. Oh yeah, this is a really nice planet. The ground's really cool. Go down here. I think this little like plateau over here was where a lot of the stuff was. Oh wow, that is cool. Took me forever to find this planet. I have made so many jumps trying to find anything that I felt was worthy of investigating, and I finally found this place. So here we go. So yeah, so HOTAS set up the Thrustmaster, controls the ship, and also having to learn how to do Elite Dangerous with mouse and keyboard when my commander's on foot, which is not too bad. I think I've said it several times before. I came from Battlefield before I played Elite, so there is a muscle memory associated with some of this stuff. All right, so 7.7 million for this tubus. 800 meters to the next colony, so we can get our sample set for this. And if you're wondering where the numbers and stuff that I come from, if you've never watched this show before, so I use a tool called ED Observatory, and it has a Bio Insights plugin. And I never do exploration like this without that plugin running, because it will give you the distances necessary, and the approximate value for whatever it is that you are scanning. So I don't need to wonder if I've gone far enough, you know, to scan the next set of tubus. I can just, there's a pop-up that appears in the bottom corner of the screen, and I can just watch that. Okay, so we need one more sample, and we will have made our 7 million credits, which, because I'm first footfall, will multiply by 4 at least. So that's nice. God, this is really nice. This is beautiful. Alright, so is there any? Yeah, there's some over here. Still getting the hang. Oh, and there's Osseous as well. Okay. Osseous can be quite a challenge to find on some of these worlds. Alright. Let's go over here and, you know, for the love of God, Frontier, please give me the ability to hold more than one sample. Please. Alright. Let's go over here and do the Osseous, since it's one of the more difficult ones to find. So Elite, let's talk about Elite for a moment. Elite Dangerous has been doing really well. We just got the Corsair released. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a Corsair review video, but I can tell you that the time that I have flown the ship, so those are 4 million for the Osseous, by the way. The time that I have flown the ship, I've really enjoyed it. I haven't had a chance to sit down and fully engineer one, but just the basic version from the ARC store, I really enjoyed it. So it's a unique design. I don't know if Frontier, I would assume that they would recognize that the beak was going to be a point of discussion among the community when they made the game, or when they made it, but I'm not really sure. I just know that when I first saw it, it was the #1 thing. I was like, it looks like a toucan. And so leaning into, you know, the beak versus no beak has been really good. And sometimes it can be cringy, or it can go really bad when game companies lean into, say, like meme culture. But I really appreciate Frontier's kind of like dipping their toes in the meme culture waters. I'm looking over here to see, because if we have Osseous, it's going to appear in this on this like jagged ridge here. You know, I appreciate them dipping their toes into the meme culture of things, especially with Lantern Light. You see the spinning station down there on my dashboard? There's some Osseous right there. That is part of, you know, Elite Dangerous meme lore. You know, and the guy that built the station, he obviously couldn't have known what was going to happen. But now that we all know what did happen with that, come on. It makes for a good laugh. It's for a good meme, and the fact that they leaned into it with doing the bobblehead. Granted, they did go out and fix the station, so it's not as bad as it was. But the fact that they leant into it was really cool, and you know, I like to see that kind of stuff. And so, you know, they're leaning into it, say with like the beak or no beak. I am Team Beak 100%, because I think that if you're going to build a ship that looks like a toucan, performs like a toucan, oh, there's a lot of Osseous over here, that, you know, it needs a beak. It really does. So let's go with the beak. And there's some people out there that are like hardcore no beak, and they use the ship kit to cover it up. And that's totally fine. Took me forever to figure out where some of these key bindings for the on-foot stuff. There we go. Second one done. Oh, come on. I would love an engineering option for running, for being able to breathe a little bit better. It's the 3300s, people. Come on. But yeah, so we got the Corsair. Frontier Unlocked is coming up. I think it's this week is coming up. So we've got a lot of stuff that has been going on with like Trailblazers and and the Corsair and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what is next on Frontier's agenda. As far as Trailblazers go, so I recently finished 2 more stations in my home system. I do have a home system now. I'm still allied with my partners, different factions that I have made friends with over the years. So I haven't turned my back on them, but I have moved my assets to a new location. So it's called 285 Sector, TON B21-1. I hope that you got that, because that is home to Apostles Lighthouse. That is my home station. So that is where all of my operations, there's an OCS right there on the edge of the ridge. And I'm sure it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get over here. Oh, come on, X. You know, I actually do know how to fly. I just like to say it's me learning again. I feel like a noob. I really do. I feel like a noob trying to fly with a stick, because I'm used to just firing up my controller and maneuvering myself with ease. But I do have a new system, so that is my home system, the Exorcist home system, and Apostles Lighthouse is my home base. There's also El Presidente's cigar research activity in that system as well. So if you're interested in some of the finest cigars in the galaxy, then go and check out El Prez's cigar research activity. It is a large scientific research facility in that system. There's also a couple of tourist installations. Ava's Gallery, which is a galactic art center, which is really cool. And then Alyssa's entertainment complex, movie theaters and stuff like that. Different entertainment options, as well as I did Cannon Defense Encampment, which is not named after the Cannon research folks. It's actually Cannon, like the shooting, like the weapon. And then Zen's Organic Dispensary, which is exactly what it sounds like. So, as far as Trailblazers, I am burned out beyond recognition. Let's go up here and get... Should we do the Cactus first, or the... Let's do the Stratum first. Okay. I am burned out on Trailblazers and hauling things. So, I won't be doing any more hauling for a while. I really have to take a break. I hauled the other night to finish 2 more stations, and I can't do it anymore. Hauling was never really my thing, and I enjoy the fact that Trailblazers puts some additional meaning with hauling, but my God, I just couldn't do it. And a huge shout out to Commander Zengineer and the folks at the Burr Pit, because they are responsible for a large part of the heavy lifting for Apostles Lighthouse. So they're the reason that my station, my home station, is actually active right now and not still waiting on me to bring the basics. So hats off to those guys for their incredible work. But, you know, with Trailblazers, the thing is that it's... when done with a group, it can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun as a single player, but it can be extremely overwhelming as a single player, especially if you're trying to build one of the larger starports. And I know some people made that mistake when it first dropped. They were trying to secure a new colonization center using the large stations. Nah, if you're going to colonize a new system, you need to make sure that you are using as small a station or outpost as you can possibly get, because you just want to get in, get the system claimed, and then you can go back and do other stuff with the bigger stations. But you do not want to do that by yourself as a first station. Absolutely not. And while we're talking about the Burr Pit, I'm going to go ahead and throw out a, if you guys, most likely you already know this, but PitCon is this weekend. And I'm excited to see, they always do a live stream, and there's always photos of people sharing. So PitCon is happening this weekend in the UK, so that is the Burr Pit's official convention. They've done it every 2 years recently, so they did it 2 years ago, and then they're doing it again. And unfortunately, I was not able to make it. So I know there are millions of people out there that are completely devastated that Commander Exorcist will not be there. Actually, no one cares. But so yeah, that I will not be there for that one, but I'll definitely be following along and supporting the pit for PitCon. I know that, you know, I'm excited, and I hope that things go really, really well for them. You know, a lot of folks don't realize the level of preparation, sacrifice. I mean, there's some serious sacrifices that have to be made to put on something like that. So if you've never put on a major project like a show, a presentation, a show, I've worked in similar situations in the military, and so there are, and even those can be small, but there's just so much work associated with it. And so, yeah, it's a lot of work that goes into it. But I think they have Frontier. I think Frontier's going to be there, and a couple other folks. Just a bunch of commanders, some content creators that'll be there for different things. So it should be a good time. And but I'm sure, I think the Birds are going to be broadcasting it on their channels, live stream, and the like. But like I said, I wasn't able to get there. My goal is to be able to, if they do another one, I'd like to try to get out there for the next one, if that happens. A lot of it had to do with kind of the personal tragedy that I've had this year, and there's just too much going on for me to be able to kind of pack up and go on. Let's see here. I thought see, this is the thing. There's cactus. I was going to say I had cactus everywhere, and then all of a sudden, there's no cactus. There we go. Oh, come on. All right. So we've done 4. So this will be the 4th item out of 7 once we have scanned the 3 cactuses that we need. So I'm really liking this joystick. I played so growing up, I played X-Wing and TIE Fighter a lot. Like, I know a lot of people were into Wing Commander. I played Wing Commander. I played Wing Commander Privateer until the wheels fell off my computer. Freaking love that game. But I was never really, like, into the whole Wing Commander saga. I'd like to go back and kind of play it, maybe as a retro playback at some point. But I was into X-Wing and TIE Fighter. And I had a joystick at one point, and so playing with a joystick and keyboard is pretty comfortable. It's just learning all of the mechanics for Elite, like all the things I'm used to doing. I just got to search for a couple of them. I'm getting better, though. Getting better. Practice makes perfect. But all right, so this is our 3rd cactus. Come on, man. There we go. I'm so glad they didn't include the mini game. What? What just happened? If any of you were around for the Odyssey Alpha, they had a mini game for this, and it was awful. It was like, I mean, Odyssey was rough, but Jesus, there was like universal hatred for the mini game that came with scanning these flowers, and thankfully Frontier listened to us and took care of it. Okay, so all right, so the cactus got us 3.6 million. Bacteria is only going to get us 1 million credits, so not too bad. I think we're gonna. Do we have? Is there like stable land out here? Yeah, we'll keep going down this valley until till I run out of space and I'm not able to find any more of what I'm looking for. There's some bacteria. Can't believe I used to do this in my SRV. Like, I used to drive around forever trying to find this freaking bacteria in my SRV. It would take, I mean, so now I can do this. So we're at about 25 minutes into the video, and these planets could take over an hour to do if you're using your SRV. But If you use a small to medium ship and just kind of fly around, it'll be done in no time. Be cranking out the credits. We might have to go back up into orbit if I'm not able to find Frutexa. We'll keep looking, but if I'm not able to find any, then we'll go back up into orbit. I know it's plentiful on this planet, but I'm not sure if I'm in the right area for it. Oh, come on. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about. Channel's been growing really well. I'm very happy with the pace of growing here on the channel. So I have kind of divided the channel into two sections. There's Elite Dangerous and Space Engineers, and both seem to be getting a pretty solid reception. We passed 5K right before the first of the year, and we are halfway to 6K already. So, and you know, we've had a couple of big videos coming out. That galaxy map video was just unbelievably huge. Like, the reception to that one was wonderful. I mean, guides tend to do pretty well anyway because Elite Dangerous is so complicated, and people need guides to kind of help them with these systems. But I mean, the reception from the community on that video was really wonderful. And then I had a system map guide come out last week. Yeah, last week. That one was fun. And the point is, so the reason there were two, if you've watched them, they're pretty in-depth. And I had this vision where I was going to do a system, like a galaxy and like a map guide. I wanted a combined system map and a galaxy map guide. And oh my god, when I started doing the galaxy map and the script just kept getting longer and longer, it's like, oh my god, this is never going to end. And it really wasn't. And so I had to break it up into two sections, and that gave me a little bit more leeway to be able to do, say, like, let's try the fungus. Let's try the fungus again. That gave me a little bit more leeway to be able to include additional things. So I ended up with this massive guide for the system map, or the galaxy map, and then I did one for the system map, which is a companion. So, you know, Elite Dangerous is very realistic in its approach to designing the galaxy. So this is really pretty. Let's kind of get a shot of this. So for example, like even the biologics here, there are certain requirements based on the atmosphere and the star that is in the system before some of these biologics will even appear in the system. And then there has to be certain elevation requirements for this stuff to appear on a planet surface. And so there's just a lot of realistic scientific things that go into this whole process, the process of generating worlds and creating the environment that we live and work in as commanders. And so it's always cool to be able to kind of showcase that and shed some light on it. Let's just do this. Let's just use night vision. Please let there be something down here. Come on. Anything. Can't believe how hard this fungus is to find. Normally it is not that difficult. Let's go down this little area here in this little valley. There's a lot of tubus through here. Not much fungus. Okay. Let's switch back. I thought I saw some Frutexa at one point, which sucks because now I'm carrying a fungus sample. I'm going to keep this on for a little bit so that I can see a little bit clearer. Well, yeah, because there's some dark patches through here. So that's cactus. There's tubus on the ridge. Some really crazy ridges here. Wow, there's a lot of tubus down there. There's a lot of it. It's like a forest. Come on, give me something. But yeah, the map guides turned out really well. And I enjoy doing stuff like this as well because, you know, you'll see a lot of cinematics and you'll see a lot of tutorials and stuff on Elite. And then I think that there needs to be more general Let's Play stuff out there so that people can see what it's like to play the game. Like, if you're interested in exploring, like, you know, some people will sit back and say, well, this is boring as hell. Well, you know what? This is actually kind of relaxing for me. I mean, I've got my HOTAS set up, and I am a pilot flying down this canyon, and it is beautiful, and I'm just kind of enjoying myself. And so, for me, I don't have to be shooting at anything to enjoy myself. Oh my god, this is so gorgeous. What is this? Yeah, it looks better with the night vision on. Wow. My concern, well, it's still showing up as suitable ground for landing. It's telling me to slow down occasionally. So if I find something, if I'm lucky, I should be able to land. The problem I found earlier was that I couldn't land because the ground was too high of an angle. Like, that's the actual, so there it is level. This way. So as far as the HOTAS goes, I'm leery to make recommendations based on just a couple of days of use. You know, hardware like this can go through some serious punishment, and I think it's important to keep it for a while and test it. But I can tell you that based off of my initial about 72 hours of playing with this thing, it's really nice. It's really nice. I don't have any complaints. It's solid. It's heavy. It's got enough weight to where it doesn't shift around very much. I don't feel like I have to mount it to the floor or anything. What do we got here? Is this it? This is okay. Okay. Oh, come on. This is a tiny little spot. What? Really? That is some crap, is what that is. Alright, forget it. Let's go over here. It's all landable. It's all suitable. Alright. I forgot that I still have my headlights on. Alright, now we got it. So this is the second of 3, and this one's worth 2.6 million credits, so I'm not sure why my mouse doesn't register sometimes for this. Yeah, so it's 2.6 million credits for this one. And I have, so for these exploration videos, I will include a link in the description for both the Thrustmaster HOTAS that I'm using, and I will include a link for ED Observatory so that you can use the same tools I am. And we're good here because this is going to be within our distance. Yep, there we go. So we have reached the distance destination. All right. Oh, I need to fix something here. Here we go. Okay. Let's go scan this tree. Can't believe how hard these were to find. In our last sample here. All right. Oh, that's gorgeous through there. Look at that. Look at this planet. I wish there were more planets like this. These are really hard to find. They're really hard to find. It's disappointing. So, I actually managed... So, a few years ago, I discovered a planetary system that we ended up calling David and Goliath. And it was amazing. And so, in Horizons, it had these incredible... jagged mountain ranges, and they were just huge. Let's do some boosting. And so we they were just, I mean, these mountain ranges were like 60 kilometers high, and it was really quite a place to visit. Yeah, in Odyssey it's flat. It's completely flattened. So I went back and visited it. So I have not visited it since Odyssey dropped, and I finally got to go back and check it out. And oh boy, it's not a pretty sight. But that'll be an out there coming up this week. It should be. So some of the planetary shots will be from the David and Goliath system in out there. Okay, so I have had to go back into space twice to find locations for the Tussock. No, not Tussock. I need to stop calling it that. It's Frutexa. That's why it's so hard to find. But we have arrived at this mountain I have dubbed the Mountain of the Dead. And we are going to cruise along it. It's a very small mountain. It's like a nub. And we're going to see if we can find Frutexa on the side of this hill here. And a couple of mountains in the distance, if necessary. We can go out and try to find those as well, but maybe we'll get lucky. And it would be really nice if the stuff was like 150 meters to the next location. There we go. We did it. Okay. Whoa, slow down there, X. Okay. Awesome. Let's go out and scan our last set of biologics for this world. And see what kind of bank we made with this one. Yeah. Now these little bushes, they'll show up on the Discovery scanner, on the Detailed Surface scanner. Okay, it's only 150 meters. Thank you. And these are worth 7.7 million, so they are worth the effort. But they'll show up on the Discovery scanner on the flat plains. They don't spawn on flat plains. They spawn higher up, in higher altitudes, usually in these grooves, like what you're seeing here. So, 150 meters shouldn't be an issue for us to find the 3 sets that we need. Should be more than enough of them on this little... Yep, here's some up at the top here. It's a nice view up here. This is the kind of place that would be nice for a base, but it's a little too far out there for now. Maybe later on when, if the colonization system reaches out this way. But for now, still too far away. So we'll scan this bad boy. And we've got one more to go. And we will be done. We went a little bit longer than I expected, but had some issues trying to find some of the stuff. This planet's been a little bit of a challenge, which is nice. But we did get to talk kind of about Elite, talk about the channel and how things are going. And we got to talk about PitCon and, let's see, we talked about my home star system. We just talked about a lot of stuff. That's kind of what we do. Here we go. And this is going to be it. These will be the last scanned items for this video. I'm hoping that we get some new plants here in the future, but if not, still plenty of these to scan. All right, that gives us 7. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay, that was not intentional. Like I said, I'm still figuring out some of the keybinds, and I accidentally hit G. So, yeah, it would be nice to get some new plants. I doubt it, but a man can dream. All right, everybody, so that is the last of our plant scanning. So, we earned, let's see what we earned. So that was a 7.7 million credit scan for those bushes, which gives us a grand total on this planet of 29,374,000 credits. So that multiplied by 4 puts us well above 100 million credits for this roughly 45 minutes of work. Really awesome. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I stand by my word that exobiology is the ultimate way to make money in Elite Dangerous. If you're looking for time invested and monetary outcome, you won't find anything in this game at this moment that pays better than this activity. So get out there and do it. You'll have yourself a fleet carrier in no time. Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with me for this episode of Exploration and Chill. I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there.